Hello everybody, you can call me Hunch. We're going to be talking about a few things today. Obviously the Bitcoin price, the price of stacks, what's going on with stacks, so some other things like ordinals. But anyway, let's get started here. You know, Bitcoin, you know, pumping to all-time highs here. Very interesting. You know, a lot of people are saying, you know, what's the Bitcoin top? You know, I don't know. My guess is anywhere from 275 to 450. That's the guess I'm putting out. Now, I'll probably look into it a little bit more when we get closer towards the end of the year. But, you know, with a lot going on with the bond markets and all that, I'm not sure we're going to have a traditional bear market unless there's like people just that are massively over levered. In this case, I think the government's massively over levered. So I don't know if people are going to be selling the Bitcoin, right? You know, I'm not too sure about all that. I'm just going to be watching more closely. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is stacks. They increased the cap from 3,000 Bitcoin or SBTC being minted on the Stacks network to 5,000, and within 2.5 hours it hit the 5,000 cap, so an extra 2,000. I think it's about 330 million or 330 what is it, million more in Bitcoin, right? The USD value. So that's massive. I do think it's going to be the #1 total value locked in terms of DeFi, Bitcoin minted, moving on the rails. I think it's bigger than Lightning Network now in terms of Bitcoin moving on those rails. So I think it's absolutely massive. I think they're going slowly to make sure institutions are comfortable with deploying their capital, their precious capital. And I think it's going to be the go-to network for maybe these ETFs or other institutions, wealthy private investors, to deploy their capital and get a yield. I just think it's the way it's going to be. I think it's one of the most trusted decentralized platforms to do that, right? They have all these signers on, and in order to get that much increase in 2.5 hours, I think they've already got institutions lined up to be doing it. They're not saying that, right? It could be all the annons and nerds and retail like you and me, but I doubt it's just that. The last thing I want to talk about is ordinals. I think they're undervalued here. If you look at the ETH ordinals, or ETH NFTs, they're not ordinals, or Solana NFTs, right? There's so much more volume. A lot of those collections are priced higher than our top collection. Go look at the volumes on top of Magic Eden. It's very small in Bitcoin. So today Pizza Ninjas announced another round of Pizza Ninjas being released. I do think that's one of the best collections. They're going to build a huge IP brand. I think they're going to look like those penguin things on ETH, right? And I think they're going to 20,000 plus per picture. I could be wrong. Obviously, it's highly speculative, not financial advice. I think a lot of, you know, you wouldn't do bad having exposure at these price levels to the top NFT collections. Obviously, massive amounts of risk. But those are the three things I wanted to talk about. You know, I'm not going to be trading anymore, right? Like, I'm set. My thesis is there. I hope it plays out, right? I think Stacks is a solid L2 thesis. I think it's better than the EVMs, right? I mean, look at what happened to Merlin Chain. I think Core Chain is probably doing well. I just don't think those have enough like, why not just build the EVM, you know, L2 and make it ETH? You know, I'm not seeing a lot of benefit to not using ETH if you prefer an EVM chain. So theoretically, I really can't see the vision that those people are advocating for. You know, in terms of portfolio too, I'll just say, I think that like the most sound portfolio is probably Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, Sui, Stacks, and Dogecoin. I swear, I think that is probably the most profound portfolio. I think that, you know, obviously you can't go wrong maybe with some Avalanche and all that good stuff, but, you know, stick to a portfolio. I think, not financial advice, you know, you can go into meme coins, have some exposure, but I don't think going in and out works. Like, I just think it's hard Obviously, if you don't have a lot of Bitcoin, get a lot of Bitcoin. So anyway, you can call me Hunch. Good luck, everybody.